Yes, Robyn has a camera that
Sorry about that.
that
I
is
forgot.
tracking her. So when you are a little bit seasick now, then you know why. and for instance,
Still,
like this, we can make a problem of that, oh God, then the video doesn't look like as it's supposed to be. Oh, just speak open about it, and this is what happening, and it has made me already so often seasick, but that's just what
I would say I'll get better, but I won't.
she won't. She said it so often.
Hi, my friends. We are back for another week. This is part 2 of our podcast about being. Be. We are being. So we're going to get into, we're going to address some of the comments that we had in the last one because that's what we wanted to do and ended up in a part 2. So this part 2, get into the playing side a lot more. I would like personally to talk about why we are making it such an important thing about playing, about being, because it is playing that moves us into being. And being is where we need to be to keep our frequency at a higher frequency. So we want to be in harmony with what's going on around us. And we touched on this a little bit in the last podcast about all of the astrological influences, the cyclic influences that we're in currently. We're at a big, huge transition of humanity turning from the involution cycle to the evolutionary cycle. This is a cycle of humanity, not one person, but the bigger, higher perspective of the bigger cycle of humanity itself. And for thousands and thousands of years, we've been on the path of the involution where we've become more and more and more material, not materialistic, but more material, more of the dense. That the purpose was to become more solid, more material, more earth. And about 2,000 years ago, then we made the transition to now we are evolving. We're on the evolutionary path, not the involutionary path. So now we're focused more on becoming more light and more light. And where we have chosen to incarnate, I keep saying we've chosen this time specifically to incarnate is a gift. It's a very consciously chosen. And what I really would like to stress is that I see on social media all of these they're saying the same thing. We've chosen such a special time, and this is true. But it makes it sound like it's just like right here, right now, and tomorrow is going to be something completely different. That is not what we're looking for. We have chosen to participate in a transition that is about a 300-year long transition. So, excuse me, the moment in time that we're looking at for us from our perspective is 300 years long. Nothing is going to happen right this moment that is just a full-on switch and magically all of this is now. That's not what we are. The first wave of that humanity who has chosen to manifest this transition during these 300 years. And what that actually is, it's speaking to the big cycle of the precession of at the equinoxes, where we spend about 2,500 years in each sign, and that's an age. That is called an age. So how we're talking about we are entering into the age of Aquarius. That's a 2,500 year cycle. And the transition from, we're coming from Pisces into Aquarius. That transition from Pisces to Aquarius is a 300-year long cycle. It happens 300 years in between every big cycle change like that. So between the ages. And so all of this transition that we're doing, we need to understand our personal little itty bitty cycle is not that we're just a drop in the bucket of that 300-year transition for humanity itself. Okay, so our purpose is to be in harmony with the energies that are around us. We keep ourselves at a higher frequency so that we are anchoring those frequencies here for Mother Earth, for the generations to come. And we are taking the higher frequencies in from the generations who have passed and left their prayers for us, because as we say over and over, we breathe the same air that our ancestors breathed. We walk on the same earth. We are still connected. Their blood runs through our veins. They were connected to the same energy lines, to the same earth as we are. So we are bringing the past and the future. We are affecting both by what we bring into our own energy field. And it is time for us to move away from the harsh process and move into the gentle process of being, when being happens through play, not work, not doing. And all of the things that I see on social media that want to throw out this sense of urgency, or it's an immediate thing, it's right here, right now, and don't miss your opportunity. And that is all a very, very low frequency interpretation of what's going on around. So the age of Aquarius really begins the big split with how people are saying 5D, 3D, 3D self, 5D self. Well, we're already all of those. And we're going to also continue to be all of those. It is not like this 3D world is going to disappear and we're all vibrating at 5D. We're multi-dimensional beings. End of the story. It's already happening. Where do you put your consciousness? And so what I was given as a vision is Aquarius is a time of separation. As I've said, we're coming from the involutionary cycle, we're going up to the evolutionary cycle. And the separation happens of the consciousness of those who are going to stay anchored in the lower frequencies. No judgment. That's where they need to be. And it holds the balance. And then there'll be those who are going into the higher frequencies, which people want to say your 5D self. You're still going to be 3D self, though your consciousness will run 3D through your 5D when you maintain your higher frequencies. That automatically happens. It's not replacing one with the other, moving them into more cohesive harmony with each other. And how the vision I was giving is your 5D self, is your heart-centered self, is where you have more light in the heart and you're operating out of your light-heartedness, playfully, when you're playing with life, you're in the light of your heart. And this is what I'm not convinced the proper way is say to have more light in your heart, but I think is spending more time in that heart light and recognizing it around. And that's the purpose of our magical walk, is to have you get comfortable with that feeling. That is your 5D self. When you're in harmony and you're just being, you had no purpose for your walk. You didn't ask a question. You weren't looking for a specific answer. You were just playing with life and seeing what did life want to say to you in that moment. That's playing. That's being. That's operating in your heart light. That's your 5D self. That is us preparing, or let's just say refining. That is us refining our nervous system to be in harmony with the electromagnetic nervous system of the planet we live on, of Mother Earth. And because this is Mother Earth's cycle that we are participating in, we want to be in harmony with that. So Mother Earth's nervous system is going through an upgrade. We are consciously upgrading our nervous system so that we can receive the new energies, we can receive the messages, and we can be rather than do. So we are receiving, we are allowing, we are flowing rather than setting a goal and having a plan. And that is really important part of what defines this transition of the bigger cycle of a 300-year transition. Our little transition that we're experiencing as individuals right now is just a microcosm of that 300-year transition for humanity. So we are the first beings that are answering the ancestors' prayers that were put in place to help us awaken when this time got here. So that's, I call the divine timing of the moment. And that's where we find ourselves. Okay.
I have a slightly different opinion or insight about it. But that's, I think, beautiful. Then you can feel what your intuitions feels connected with Robyn's opinion more, and with mine. What I like very much about what Robyn is telling, it's that our part is just a little part, and it's also something what I see a lot about, as if uh, the big thing happens, and then we are at the most beautiful place in that exists in Eden. And they say in the age of Aquarius, Eden will be on Earth, and I believe that that will happen, but that is a slow transition in those 300 years. And yes, when that part where we are, or we can choose to be a part of, that will be already a way more beautiful world than the world where we are living in right now. Where my insight is a little bit different is that there will become. Mother Earth has to purge herself quite a bit still, and that will we will notice that. Her earthquakes, winds, floodings, however she wants to do it, she will do it. And we people will notice that. Um, um, they say that there is coming, and I hear that already more than I'm trying to count. 30 years is it now, or that there will be a flash of light that will that is the marking point of the day, the time before and the time after. And so there will be things happening in the way I've learned it, in the way I see it, that can be heavy, that can be, I want to say scary, but I want you to stop being scared. And so it can be heavy, but take the gentle process in the heaviness. It can be a lot, but what you have to put in your brain, in your heart, and in your soul, and wherever you want to put it, this is an changing for Mother Earth, for us. It is helping us. It's not against us. It is not. So there will be happening, and because we have difficult with the not knowing, and many people becoming scared of the not knowing, but make there the difference, and that you want to know, but you will not know till the moment that it's happening. It's the divine timing where Robyn already was telling about. And so it's the divine timing. And when you find yourself in that, that you want to know, that you are eager to know, that you want to know how life looks like, your soul knows for a part, because we have to co-create a part. So there are parts that are not created already. So your soul cannot connect with that part. But a very big part, your soul can connect. So being playful, being connecting with your consciousness, connecting with your soul, means that you can also connect for a part with what perhaps is coming already. And so you can have glimpses of that. You will not get from A to Z for the future, because that's not where you have to live now. You have to live here and now and be. We are, Robyn and I are making a little bit jokes about the queen bee. So we I cannot say be anymore without thinking about those jokes, but being is it's such an important part of these times, so that the way I see it, for the most of people, our souls and the rest of who we are as a human, as a total human, that's for our feeling, it's still a little bit separated. And by being is what you are doing, is connecting those two together. So that when you are being enough, oh God, when you spend enough time being, let me say it like that, and your soul and your rest of your human being becomes one. That and your soul becomes the leader of the human you are. These times you have to do this. that's the times of being, but also do it playful, because it is nice. It is, you can enjoy it. Is you come, in a sense, you are coming home in yourself when you are I just said it before we started recording to Robyn. I was talking about my soul. I am a little bit a teaser. I like to do that. But my soul is doing my teasing on steroids, I said. The rest of me, I call that the Clementine part still, um, 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 has to shut down because I have nothing to say anymore because my soul me just knew way better how to tease me than me as Clementine knows how to do it. So so that is playfulness. That is connecting with your soul, connecting with who you are. Let that energy coming in you, and you start feeling things, and you can choose to be scared of it, but I choose to like it. And being as a child, um I want to look at it, and what are you want to telling me, and what can I learn from it, and then I'm doing a little bit, but I do that when I am being. Well, I don't know if I make sense still, but uh, for me, for instance, and also with that we joked about before, I have difficulties being because I am such a doing person. I have learned so much that doing, so all day, every day, doing, and being is I want to walk away from that. I even sometimes it even happened today. And it was a sunny day. I was sitting in the sun and I was connecting with myself, and I felt well, and everything happens, and I felt the energy, and I got inside, and all of a sudden I found myself standing. I even don't know anymore that I stood up, and I found myself standing, going, wanting to go inward into the house. I mean, I was, what, what is this? What are you doing? Where are you? Are you running for something? Are you, what is the reason you stood up? I still have no clue, but, I can make that a problem, but I take it as, with a laugh. I joke about it. And then I'm joking about also, where are you running away from? And yes, Robyn has a camera that
Sorry about that.
that
I
is
forgot.
tracking her. So when you are a little bit seasick now, then you know why. and for instance, like this, we can make a problem of that. That, oh God, then the video doesn't look like as it's supposed to be. just speak open about it, and this is what happening, and it has made me already so often seasick, but that's just what
Say I'll get better. I won't.
she won't. She said it so often. And so what I'm trying to say is stay playful, while stay making jokes. Don't make it so serious. When you make it serious, your energy is going down, and you are suffering so much. And oh, life is so heavy, and all your energy is down to the lower level again. And that's just such a sad thing. You only have to be playful, and your energy stays up. And so be aware of what you are doing. Be aware, and especially be aware. These are beautiful times. And yes, the change asks on energy leveling a lot of you. You be, you can be more tired. Then take a rest and be. There's nothing more important than rest and be. Queen bee.
Queen. Be the queen.
Do you want to go further?
I do. So, we are really, really emphasizing play is the path to being. Being is the path to refining your nervous system, keeping your frequencies up, or what social media likes to say, 5D, and everything's going 5D. So, true, we're we're gonna see a separation of two societies at this point. This is the beginning of the transition, and there'll be the 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 doing societies and the being societies, and the being societies are going to be the ones that are community oriented and no longer um dependent on corporate structure, I guess would be the easiest way to describe that. There's just going to be with the being communities, that's going to be human beings. We're focused on human, expressing the hue frequencies. The the doing societies are going to be those focused through technology and doing and intellectual rather than the wisdom of the being society. So we'll see separations there. It can get as comfortable or uncomfortable as you want it to be. There's a certain power in just simply observing. Yes, I see that happening. Like for me, this week in particular, I noticed relationships that are like in the old frequency for me, my old frequency relationships where I'm required to act as though I'm less than the other person, not working for me. I saw several of those pop up this week. I'm like, not doing that anymore. I'm done with that. And it wasn't even through a resistance. It's just like, that doesn't fit anymore. That's the point of the magical walks, is to do that regularly. Go out for your magical walks. Just get any kind of message. It keeps you in your higher frequency of being. And then you don't have to go through the process of, oh, I have a damaged inner child. What are you trying to tell me? What is this process I have to do? What have I not let go of yet? None of that. You just don't have to spend time in it anymore. It just doesn't fit anymore. You'll just notice that those things just don't fit anymore, and you don't have to address it. It's over. It's done with. It's gone. So you just put that one little ounce of awareness, and it's gone. And that is a very, very powerful thing that these walks accomplish. So here's your doing within your being. So in your being walk, while you're just being, what you're doing is noticing what comes up. What's coming up to be released, release it. Don't analyze it. Don't you don't even have to name it. You just have a feeling. Does that feel like something you want to hold on to? Yes or no? No. And then something will happen, like a leaf will fall off a tree in front of you, and it was released, right? So that's as much doing as should be happening. Is the doing is simply noticing, observing, being aware, and then just release it. And then as you go through your week or your day or however your next period of time, it'll show up around you and you just notice. You just notice. Okay.
What
So do
what
we want
I'm
to?
just very short uh, thought about it. So when I am being and connecting with that energy, I always have the feeling it starts most of the time from my heart. By me first down. What for you? You have to do your way. But I have always the feeling that I have a shower inside me, that it from my heart down, that I clean and cleanse my inside from everything lower frequency energy. So traumas, everything physical traumas, everything what I don't need anymore gets away with this inner shower. And when it goes to my toes and it's ready, everything goes away through my toes. Then it goes from my heart up through my neck, in my head, and um, then my fantasy is going well. Then it comes out of my nose and my ears and my eyes and my mouth, and and sometimes even uh, out of that first or that last, it depends on from what for you first is last, chakra, or that very important energy center there. And um, so what Robin is saying, what is coming up, you don't have to do anything anymore with it. When you let it go with the drain of your shower, then it's in the drain and it's gone. And you have to look at yourself then. Well, what many people are doing, because they are used to doing it, is start to think about it again and start to say, oh, that was such a hard time, and it was. Then you are traumatizing yourself. It is already gone, so let it out of your system. It's not you will remember, but let it just a clean remember. Don't put the trauma back into your system. It's gone. But that is the beauty of being. Well, it can clean and cleanse without a lot of money spending at psychotherapy or whatever you need or think you need.
Yeah, we're gonna stop the thinking part. Yes.
Go on.
Okay. Let's get to the fun stuff before we keep talking and have to make a part 3. So we'll get there. We will get there. Okay. So let's look at some of our comments that we got. And thank you everybody. That was super fun. I love this interaction part. So let me see. Hummingbirds. I remember hummingbirds. Somebody saw hummingbirds and it already meant something to them. So there wasn't a
What I
lot of else to work with.
when you
It
want,
meant
I
like
can
their grandmother, somebody was a visit.
I can pop them up.
Okay,
Do you
that'd be
want me
awesome.
to find them?
Yeah.
What I want to say in the meantime, in general, first of all, I really liked it. Those comments, and thank you for it. Um, um, what I missed, it sounds something that I missed, and I have nothing to say about it. But what I would advise for the most is go that you find an animal and it's connecting with that person. But what is that animal and that person saying to you? And perhaps that happened for you and you didn't want to write that down. I understand that that's of course no problem, but magic happens then. And when what is it want to say? What is that person or that animal or both want you to say? And ask questions, go further. You can have whole conversations. And it will help you and will bring you so much deeper. And that's the nice thing about it. But again, first of all, thank you so much for writing down what you have experienced. The
That's wonderful. And
hummingbird.
that's exactly where I was going too, Clementine. That's
Oh, I'm
awesome.
sorry.
No, don't be. I like when we agree. I like when
Oh,
we don't agree too. I have to dimension, but I like it all.
the
So
hummingbird
yeah,
one. Do you want to me
please
reading?
read.
I listened to intuition today and saw beautiful hummingbirds. They represent my grandma and to me. They flew up to my face so close and stayed so long. It was magical.
Okay. So this is where I was going, is specifically how what Clementine was just saying is, so then you want to, and here would be the doing part within the being. What is the message? Because if your hummingbirds represent your grandmother, wonderful, you just got a visit from your grandmother. However, it is unusual for a hummingbird to come in your face and hang out for a minute. So what was that? There's a deeper message right there, which you don't have to share with us, and maybe you got that yourself. We're just giving examples of how to further this experience, what the how to expand the beingness. Um, Hummingbirds, joy, beauty, harmony. So clearly, your grandmother is bringing you a hug, joy, harmony, beauty. Look around. Were you having a rough day? Is your grandmother just trying to pick you up and say, "Hey, we're here. We see you." Um, Hanging out in your face tends to make me think there's more than just a hug. There was a specific message in that. One of the other things that hummingbirds um, bring is accomplishing impossible feats. Hummingbirds, the speed and the agility, but they fly backwards. They come to a standstill at such speeds that seems impossible. So, what kind of impossible feat are you trying to get yourself through right now? And what is it about your grandmother, your grandmother's energy? Perhaps your grandmother left a prayer that you can access to move you past that. So there's energies for you to draw on, and that is a gift from your grandmother's prayers that are left behind. So you don't have to necessarily walk away from the experience with a conscious understanding of, oh, I'm going through this situation right now, and my grandmother was this way, and so it me. Don't even do all of that. Just go, oh, whatever it is that I need, it's there. It's been provided, and I accept it. And just leave it at that. So stay in the observation mode to receive the gift, the wisdom, the intuition, and then just watch it unfold later. Do you want to add anything to that one, Clementine?
Yeah, What Hummingbird is telling to me is it possible that it is difficult for you to see the flower in every situation and everybody? And Hummingbird is advising you to look this way to situations. See the flower in everybody and every situations. And on top of that, feed with the nectar. As so when it's a situation, see the beauty of it, but also can you learn from it? What Hummingbird is saying now also is that your grandmother is there for you also to guide you to see the flowers in every situation. So it's a little bit what we're talking about before already is be playful also. And so then it's way more easier to see the beauty of everything and everybody. Okay, are we going for the next one?
We are. But before we do that, I want to really, 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 really emphasize right now. My favorite part about what we're doing right now is sharing a perspective, sharing a situation, sharing a question. And there's my perspective and there's your perspective. And it just adds so much on so many levels to have someone else's perspective or two other people's perspective is absolutely wonderful. So one of the things that is super powerful about this experience is share it with somebody else for two reasons. Because you get to hear yourself say it and you will say things, you'll hear yourself say things you didn't notice in the moment. You will get insights by listening to yourself explain it to somebody what happened. And then you get the power of their insights coming back to you. And then in this situation, you get my insights and your insights. And when you don't have somebody to share that with, a super powerful thing is to actually write it, not type it on your phone, but write. The act of writing with your hand releases things in the brain that it is just, that would be a whole podcast, but so write, powerful. The journaling aspect is very magical in and of itself. So if you find yourself wanting to do something with your being, just go back and journal it like you're talking to yourself, and then go back a week later and look at that and see what transpired. That there are things that'll be revealed during that week that you'll miss unless you go back and look at your journal entry. So two very powerful things: share with someone else and share with yourself by writing. Okay, next one. What's the next one?
Very short. Only take that where you feel connected with. When the rest you don't feel connected, you don't have the feeling we are talking about you, but somebody else. Then don't take it in. Only take that what is yours, and go further with that.
Well, if you look on our website, we always say you're not the only one learning. We're learning from you too. So a lot of times, like these messages right now, we're talking about the hummingbird. You're getting a message, Clementine. I'm getting a message as well. And so some of the things that we're saying, perhaps that's our message, so you take what resonates with you and we'll take what resonates with us. And sometimes that's a shared resonance.
The next one?
Yes.
For some reason, the moon was just calling to me. It was a full moon, but it was something about this one that struck out to me. Also, hearing an owl hooting was magical. Hooting.
Wonderful. Okay, so some people would completely dismiss, okay, the moon is out all the time. There's nothing fantastic about that. Absolutely wrong. The moon is out all the time is in and of itself something very magical. That is, the moon is always with us. The moon comes out during the day, the moon comes out during the night. So that divine feminine is always present. The fact that this particular full moon stood out was also very, very significant because this particular full moon that just passed had very impactful astrological portals and symbols. Because remember, if you from the last podcast, I started by talking about the astrology and the full moon, and that portal is open all the way until May 31st. So if someone is having this experience and the full moon is speaking to you, you very much want to pay attention to what you're manifesting through this portal. This portal is personal for you. The moon is talking to you. So manifest on purpose, very much on purpose. Get very clear. Write it down. Write it down. And the owl simultaneously. Now, I love that this person said a hooting owl because that makes a difference. All owls are not created equal. Okay, so a hooting owl is a soft, gentle, that'll be more about bringing wisdom. And I believe I put in the comment as a response to that that an owl can also signal deception around you. If it's a hooting owl, that's just going to be kind of like maybe things aren't quite what they seem, but there's not a personal attack involved. It's not, somebody stabbing you in the back kind of deception. If it was a screech owl, that would be different. Okay. So when these kind of things happen, the first kind of questions I would ask to get a deeper message is what color owl? So the hooting owl is typically brown, a brown owl. So that is a grounding color. Get your feet on the ground, keep your wisdom about you, don't be swayed by other people. If it was the screech owl, that is a white owl, that would be more about be careful for spiritual attacks. That signals more of kind of an emergency or a crisis that needs to be looked at that you might be missing, and what kind of there's wisdom in that one as well, but it's on a spiritual or a soul level, and sometimes the screech owl signals death. So not necessarily somebody's gonna die, although in some traditions it is that literal, but this would be, as we've been using it in the context of what we're doing, the death of the old self. Because this is the point, is we are ridding ourselves of old and outdated frequencies and raising up and staying in our higher frequencies in the heart light. So the screech owl would be talking more towards that kind of a death of the old and outdated. So pay attention to colors. I would also, if it was me personally, because I very much resonate with sacred numerology. So I would want to know how many times did the owl hoot. That would have a message for me because numbers mean something to me. And in which direction did that come from? North, south, east, west, northwest. what direction was the owl in from where you were standing also would hold a deeper message. So without those specific things, then my interpretation of the meaning rests with a little bit more of a generic. And then when you ask more specific questions, it gets more and more and more personal and answers questions on a deeper level. You have anything to add to that one, Clementine?
About the moon, what I want to say about that is look what the moon is doing with the waters of our planet. And the moon is doing exactly the same with your waters. So that people can say that the moon is not important, then they don't feel their own waters. And that is also 80% of your body. And so the moon is a very important part in how you function. And the more you are in your flow and let the moon do its job or her job, the more easier you have it, and the more easier everything comes to you, and what has to go from you is going. I don't know if that's because I live in Europe and our owls. I have a completely not different connection, but I know from stories that people have connections with owls and with death, if it's a physical death or a death of ending a cycle and beginning a new cycle. For me personally, an owl always connects with my soul. The frequency of the call that owl have, in that frequency, I feel that frequency is coming in, and my soul is starting to move on that frequency. And and most of the time, this is a communication without words, and it just happens. And that can go very deep and very far. And you have to make there your own experience when you can connect in that way with owls. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about owls. They are, when you really are connected with an owl, that is it's a soul bond. It's just a soul bond. It's I cannot say it differently. Robyn?
On a personal level, I have a very, very strong connection with owls. Excuse me. And for me, my connection with owls is very much connected with the mythology of Athena in Greek mythology. And also adds another level. I would love to do a podcast with storytelling. I love storytelling, the whole aspect of storytelling. I'm getting some stories. So for me, anytime I have an encounter with an owl spirit, it 100% is a soul connection, but it will have a very different interpretation for me personally than if I'm right beside another person having the exact same experience. Because we're not having the exact same experience, we have an inner experience happening. Yeah, so get into the stories. Owls. There's rich storytelling with owls. You'll find one that resonates with you and make it your own. Okay, next.
Next one. I was sitting at my desk yesterday thinking about my late brother. I started talking to him, and instantly I saw a gorgeous monarch butterfly flying. in front of my window, and as if he was saying hello. Then I saw a female cardinal that flew by and landed on the fence and stayed there for a minute. I know he was there. Just in case you are wondering, yes, I am very dyslexic. Reading is a horror for me. So
You're doing so well.
I'm trying. I'm doing, yes. Queen Bee is doing.
What happens when you have to do? Okay, I love this one. First of all, I know who this is. I know personally, I know who this is. And I'm going to say right up front that I think it was yesterday this person sent me a picture. The cardinal, the male cardinal was back because it was all red. So continuous visits, which is wonderful. Yes, your brother was there. Yes, that was a hello. Butterflies also can speak of resilience. I know everybody is aware of the butterflies, a new beginning and a metamorphosis, and we all know that. We all know that part. So yes, new beginnings, new transition, and a new you, wonderful. Which is pretty much a given. If someone has passed on, you are now redefining yourself. Okay. Um, the brother also, because he sent the butterfly. And but butterflies also bring a resilience. And I don't think that in a lot of butterfly symbolism that's not touched on. Um so this butterfly was sent to give you strength and let you know that your brother is there for you to lean on, is helping, is become part of your allies, your team on the other side. So your brother is totally working on the other side towards your success and sending you personal um signs, downloads even, because the butterfly was on the other side of the window. What is a window? It's a protected opening, right? So you could see it as a barrier, but it also as a protection. So something that is happening in your world that seems like it's a barrier is actually happening for your protection. And your brother is part of that. So he's protecting you from something. Do you want to add something, Clementine?
I get something else. I get what I'm getting is that your brother is wishing for you to shine like a butterfly, like a cardinal, that you open yourself up and let and show the beautiful person you are inside. So like the butterfly is doing, like the cardinal is doing, is just showing off. That's what your brother is wishing for you. Can you
If
talk,
you knew
Robyn?
him, or yeah, if you knew him, if you knew the brother, the words that are coming out of your mouth are so descriptive of him. He wants you to show off, and uh, she and I will know exactly what that's about. It's not my story, so I'm not free to share that, but I know exactly what that's about. And it was a question that was posed to me, and my message was, yes, he indeed wants you to do that. And it involves being visible. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that, Clementine. I love that. I can't
You're
wait. I can't
welcome.
wait until she tells me, I watched your podcast. I know what that is. Yeah, that's exciting. Okay. Making
The
sure.
last one,
Yep.
I followed my intuition on my walk today and saw 5 little blue herons. At the very end of my walk, I listened, looked looked to the right and found one of their beautiful feathers. Thank you, Pachamama.
So the first thing I'll say on that one, you looked to the right and there was a feather. So that gratitude is for Pachatata, which is the masculine side of Pachamama. So that feather was a gift from the divine masculine. So thank you, Pachatata. Now, I'm not sure what you were thinking or what was on your mind as that, but it's a very, it's something that'll show up in the tangible world, in the manifest world. There's help in the manifest world coming. Like a person will show up. If it's not a man, it'll be in an authority type of manner, authoritative. Like how do you think of a father? 5 is the number of change, profound change, which is exactly what we're describing. It's the time, the transition of where we are at. 5, like the 5-pointed star, that's humans. Head, 2 arms, 2 feet. We are stars. And so 5 is the sacred number of humanness. Herons are phoenixes. So there's a rebirth, a lot of fire. I don't know, there's something else about these herons. Independence. Independence. Now, it said blue herons?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that is significant too. So blue herons is definitely about independence and divine timing. Blue herons are superior hunters, fishers. They have this incredible patience. They just stand absolutely still, and then when they strike, they almost never come up without a fish. So it's the idea of waiting and striking at the right time. But they have those long, thin legs that's just support, sturdy support. And you just stand on your own. So just stand in your own convictions, regardless of what anybody or anything around you, pretty much you're different than what you're surrounded by. And you're just going to recognize that and hold your own, not negate yourself or, maybe move past trying to fit in or feel like you belong, because you're not going to in the situation that you're in. You're not meant to. You're meant to stand out. You're meant to be independent. And you're at a time where it's super important to hold your own inner strength. And that is where the rebirth, the birth of the phoenix, that's where it comes from, is to stand on those 2 little thin legs with full support, regardless of what it looks like. Those little tiny legs don't look like they would provide much support, but they do. And then you stay right strong in your own convictions and let the storm swirl around you, and it sorts itself out. And then you emerge as the reborn, the phoenix out of the ashes.
I have the same about the feather, but I would say different. The feather on the right is, you say thank you, Pachamama. When you the translation of Pachamama is not what everybody is thinking, Mother Earth. The translation is Mother of Time, masculine, and space, feminine. And um, um, I was guided towards is how is it with your masculine and feminine balance? Your right side masculine, is it easier for you to work with your masculine side? Also, because for me, the heron is indeed those very thin, long legs, and even able to stand on such a thin, long leg on one leg, and then still keep balance and earthing. And so for me is um, at least that is what I interpretate, is when I see a heron standing, that it has to do with your grounding, with earthing, with balance. When I see a feather at the right side, then I'm thinking, an heron feather, is there a disbalance between your masculine and your feminine? You need 5 herons for this. So I'm thinking that you have to look at your grounding, to look, am I stable? Am I sure in myself? Am I grounded in myself? And again, at the balance inside of you. That's what I hear about what you've written down.
Perfect.
Thank you for all your comments. When you want still to comment something, please do. As you hear, we love looking at it. Till next week. Bye bye.